All right. Call this session to order or pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation, indivisible, liberty, strong.
First on the agenda is Secretary's report. It has been signed off on. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes from our previous meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor? Aye.
John,
Right.
I. John, I.
Treasurer's report?
Record report, yeah, you need to adopt the agenda there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Motion to adopt the agenda for tonight.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There you go, the ayes have
Thank
it.
you. I knew this was gonna be a hot mess. Treasurer's report.
Beginning balance of $2,828,137.64. 25 credits to the account, totaling amount of $128,785.95. There were 63 debits to the account, totaling $340,670. $340,673.49, leaving a ending balance of $2,680,250.10.
Do I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report subject to audit?
Make a motion to approve treasurer's report.
Second? Aye.
Aye.
All in favor? Approval of the bills.
Ask for approval,
John, I, what are you, hold on a second. John, speak again. This thing is.
yeah, I can hear him just not loud.
I can't hear him at all.
Oh, I think you, John, you're muted on your side. Can you unmute yourself?
Okay,
There you go. Speak now.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can hear you. There we go. I was like, I
Okay,
can hear him saying. Something's not right.
Okay, approval of the bills?
I ask the board to approve bills in the amount of $110,436.19.
Motion to approve the bills?
It's different than something what's on the agenda.
But it, no, it's just the motion to approve the bills on the bottom of that,
On the bottom of what?
on the bottom of the bill. You got the wrong one.
Oh.
You gotta read that.
Oh, will that be a problem? All right, I'd like to rescind that amount. That's for approval to pay the bills in an amount of $153,456.71.
That's the right one.
That's the-
That matches the agenda too. That's good.
All right. I'll make a motion.
Second? Second? All in favor? Aye. Chief and Fire Marshal's report.
Okay, chief's report for 28th April. Tanker 1224, during the first Friday of the wildfire outbreaks, 1224 sucked embers into the air system. And the air cleaner and the airbox caught fire. This also caused damage to the turbo. Unit was towed back to Station 2 and rush came out the following Monday to assess. They replaced the airbox and the turbo and reinstalled the drive shaft. They also went through the rest of the truck to ensure no further damage was incurred. There was also heat damage to the rear tires. All 4 rear tires have been replaced and the unit is now back in service. 1219, during the high winds, while somebody was transporting the UTV, the top of the roof came off and tore in half. So it was not repairable. We replaced it with a sturdier metal roof that is a lot more secure than the original. Brush 26, the cabin chassis came in when Jim Butler contacted NAPI to run it over to their shop. NAPI had advised they had not built the bed. So NAPIDA has a new policy that they will not start construction until they have the truck. They gave an estimate of June for the bed to be completed, and Jim Butler is currently fighting with them to get it moved up in the schedule and get it done. So we probably won't see the new brush truck until July. Squad 12, today during driver's training, one of the driver trainees drove over a wheel chuck and popped the outer dual. Squad 12 is out of service until tomorrow. Crews will be running engine 12 until the repair is made. Stations, all Ben's garage door has completed the preventive maintenance on the garage doors. Station 4, 2 of the bay ceilings fans have stopped working. These are really new, so the electrician's going to warranty them and replace them with upgrades. So it's good. Station 1, most of the living space lights are burned out. I'm going to be switching these to LEDs like I did in here. Headquarters, we had 2 outlets installed to be in line with our building code. One was in the hallway by the chief's offices, and the other was in the storage room, as the ice maker had been on an extension cord this whole time. So we fixed that. Station 2, during the rain on Sunday, we had a water leak at the ceiling level. It was determined the downspouts are clogged. The gutters and downspouts have been cleared, but the actual downspout drain needs to be snaked. I contacted Roto-Rooter, and he came out today to clear it out. So luckily he was in Greenview, and he's like, I'll head your way. Headquarters, after a lot of trial and error and a visit from Como, I've exhausted everything I can do to make the old fuel system work. It's not currently communicating with any of the computers, and we cannot program new keys. I've got inquiries out to a few companies, but I can't remember what Newmeyer. Yeah, Newmeyer. Newmeyer is the only one familiar with it, and they're going to give me an estimate. I'm hopeful that we can update the computer side without replacing the entire system, because the last estimate for updating the whole system was $25K. So I'm really hoping I don't have to do that. Headquarters, we finally found an HVAC tech that was familiar with our system. The set points and settings have all been corrected. He also found a bad belt and lubrication issues in the roof units that were corrected. And he is putting together a quote for annual maintenance, as we've never had an annual maintenance on these HVAC systems. So Kenny found that guy, and he was very good. State and federal grants were put on hold, so I've gone ahead and started collecting quotes for an LED sign in front of Station 1. We can always apply for grants for the other stations, but I'd really like to get one in front of Station 1 sooner than later. So I hope they have something for board approval next meeting. And then the ice maker at Station 2, as reported last month, went out, and we replaced it. FEMA reimbursement. Due to the disaster declaration from brush fires, I was asked to submit a reimbursement request that included equipment loss, equipment cost, and damage to any trucks or equipment we sustained. In your board packets, yours is updating. In your board packets, I included a PDF with my cost proposal. It totaled $15,059.57. This would be a federal reimbursement, so it'll probably be a year before we see the money. And if we get enough to cover the $6,000 bill on Tanker 24, I'll consider that a win. But I did talk to the new EMA director, and I'm really quite amazed, because we were asked to do that in a day. I came up with 15,000, and I talked to him about maybe I was high, and he laughed and said, "No, you were the lowest one we had." So I don't know how everybody put together over $15,000 worth of damages in 4 hours, but apparently I stink at it. Loose equipment, the new nozzles have come in and have been placed on the first out trucks. Chief Weaver's investigating a possible rebuild kits for the leaking nozzles that we had that can then replace the oldest nozzles on the second out. Gravelway has some loose equipment they want to surplus, and I'm working with Chief Hancock excuse me, to trade some of our old radios for the loose equipment. He's interested in the old radios we tore out of the trucks, and we need stuff to outfit truck 17, so this may work out pretty good. So I'll advise what we end up with. My goal is to have truck 17 outfitted for minimal cost. EMS equipment, our oxygen bottles are coming to the end of their service life. Many of them were too small for our uses anyways. Firefighter Balaban is our EMS project manager, and he was able to find the amount we needed at reasonable pricing. We replaced all the oxygen tanks with the proper sizes for $1,798. And when delivered, they sent us used bottles. So he called and talked to the salesmen, and they are rectifying it as the price that we were quoted was for new bottles, not used ones. So we will still fill them at Lake West, as the rental rotation cost was too much for the benefit. So we actually looked at having Airgas come out and just swap out our bottles. We don't have to drive up to Lake West. But for the amount of money they want to swap out bottles, and for us to drive up to Lake West was way cheaper. So we're just gonna stick with that. Excuse me. I walked outside, now I'm full of pollen. Turnout gear, I was advised by our vendor at the Recruit Gear, that when we bought the Recruit Gear, they would be the last sets we were able to purchase for Sentinel as they're changing who they sell for. It's time for us to bid out turnout gear anyways, but we're gonna be evaluating some other gear options, and we can see who the new vendor for Honeywell will be, but. Camden County 911 on April 16th. They made some upgrades and repairs. Our repeater was out of service in Camden County for about 7 hours. We were able to switch to the Most One system and had no interruption in service. The upgrades have been completed and everything is back. Gosh dang it. Both firefighter positions were filled in the last hiring process. The academy started on Monday, April 7th. One of the recruits resigned on Friday, this past Friday. So the academy was immediately terminated and the other recruit was assigned to a shift. So we're gonna have to repost an opening. So, yeah, not happy about that one. Training, in addition to the academy, crews attended advanced fire behavior here this month, which was grant funded. Some of our firefighters attended rope technician classes with Osage Beach, because OB paid for 3 different technician classes and they held them here. So the guys that missed skills with us were able to sit through OB's class and get their skills signed off. Chief Oldenwald has written and delivered a marine firefighting class this month as well, which included a burn prop built by Let's Train. Utilized a new foam that is environmentally safe, and the foam manufacturer actually donated all the foam for the train. And then we ended up with, I think, 6 buckets are sitting out there, 5 or 6. So whatever they didn't use, they gave to us. So the boat, if you're not familiar with it, the boat in the middle, that's the burn prop. That was actually Gravelly's old fire boat. They wanted to get rid of it, and they did a burn prop. MoDOT, the toll booth project is complete. The road is open. They have accepted the final approval on the project. So guardrails are done, parking lots removed. There should be no more work at the toll bridge. I was informed over the weekend that Portosema actually bought the old toll booth office, and they're going to be using it for their accountants. And State Road TT, they built up the bump at Doctor some more. And last I talked to Danny, the plan was to let it get pushed down a little bit, and they were going to add some more to it and then pull the signs. So that's an ongoing thing. Cannonball Run and Shootout. There are now 2 events scheduled for what normally would just be Shootout Week. We have not received requests from anyone regarding either event. So we are not making plans for either at this point, but we'll monitor the events. Active 911, as we continue to update our pre-plans for ISO's inevitable visit, I have uploaded all the pre-plans to Active 911. We'll also be working with our mutual aid partners to share data to ensure that they have the same information, whether they are covering or coming in for mutual aid. So if you look on your iPads, when our calls come out, you'll see all these little bubbles pop up now. Each one of those bubbles contains information about responses and the building, things like that. Good and welfare through all the storms, tornadoes, etc. We had no serious reported damage anywhere in the district. I've been in close contact with the EMA, and compared to a lot of districts, we were extremely fortunate. As mentioned before, a reimbursement request has been submitted. I've been told we were at the lower end amount. I got ahead of myself. But I don't anticipate hearing anything for about a year. When we went to Katrina, it took FEMA right at a year to reimburse us. So I don't think it's gotten any faster. Local Emergency Planning Committee through state grant funding purchased a CO detector, a core gas monitor, and a thermal imager for all of the Camden County fire districts. I brought them in tonight for the board to take a look at. And that's the chief report for 28 April. Okay.
All right, fire marshal's report, for the month was rough ends, we had 25, finals, we had 15. Site inspections of 5, for bonding for 3, and 44 dog inspections, total of 72 inspections completed. For the month, we had 31 dock permits come in, 27 building permits, total revenue for that month was $14,887.90. Year to date, we've had 101 docks, 83 building inspection or building permits, and 3 renewals, total of 187. We back up one there, chief. So that was the 3rd month, and we're already at 83 for the count on building permits. Typically 200 is a good year, so we'll see we're running well ahead of the norm. So construction is definitely up. Go ahead. Total revenue, docks was $7,695, buildings $36,083.17, renewals of $75. Total revenue, year to date is $43,853.17.
So over halfway your goal already.
Yeah. I mean, I've been saying all the structures up, and you can see we're already 83 count for permits. That was in the 3rd month.
Motion to accept the chief and fire marshal's reports.
I'll make a motion.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
On to unfinished business. There's no unfinished business. On to new business. Policy update PD 1010 pay and payroll procedures.
So in pay and payroll procedures and in your board packets, I had highlighted the word, but when we discussed payouts in the policy, we put a thing in there that basically said we would not pay out the extended sick leave. And in that sentence, I must have left out the extended because it just said basically we would not pay out sick leave, which we do. So I added the word extended. So I just asked tonight that we approve the new verbiage. And that one, you should have that with you now, somebody?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you guys approve that, I just for you to sign it.
Motion to approve the changes to PD 1010.
Motion.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
New LEPC equipment.
Yeah, as I talked about in the chief's report, you guys can look at it at the end of the meeting, but there in front of you is the new 4 gas monitor, CO detector, and thermal imaging camera. They're a bit different from what we already have, and as far as the gas monitors go, we have a little bit nicer ones. So at this point, we're probably just going to put those on staff cars to have extra equipment on the scenes, and if we find a use for it in the future, we'll put it on another truck. But for now, they're just going to be extra equipment.
Any questions on this? No votes needed. On to resolution rental funds.
So President Sullentrop had brought up to me if we had when we rented out the tower, the land for the tower, we had said from the get-go, or at least I did, that we were going to use that money to help pay for the turnout gear replacement every year. We never put anything in writing to say that, and John felt that it was probably a good idea to put that in writing. So I just need approval from the board to write a resolution saying we're going to use that for turnout gear replacement, that money, and then I will have the resolution here next month for your approval. If you guys agree, we need to do that.
I agree, we need to do that.
Okay,
Do you need a vote?
I need to vote to write the resolution.
Motion to vote on that? Second,
I'll second.
all in favor? Aye.
aye,
Public comment.
Okay,
No public comment? Having no other business, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Meeting
Aye.
adjourned.
thank you, John. Enjoy your time down there.
okey dokey. Take care.
Sheriff's in trouble.
I got a couple, I didn't like-